Not long ago, you were a FIFO worker. What was it that made you decide to get into something like remote sales?
I was at a gas plant that could blow up at any moment and I'd just be dead. Being on the mine, I was doing 12, 13 plus hours a day. Whereas now I'll start about 5:30, but then I'm finished by 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon.
Do you think you need to be talented to get into closing or setting? Do you think it's something that you can learn?
I was super skeptical about the industry as a whole. Like, it just seems too good to be true, you know, being able to call people for a living from anywhere in the world and make money from it. It just didn't seem real. And like, there's so many people out there online. Who do you trust? RSI wasn't the only companies that I spoke to. I actually had paid a refundable deposit with a different coaching company, and he didn't give me back my refundable deposit and boxed me.
Are you serious? Are you kidding? So you didn't get your refundable deposit? That is horrific.
Yeah.
Michael Candeloro. Michael, not long ago, you were a FIFO worker. You're earning $200,000 a year. You had a cushy job, and now you're a remote appointment setter. You're living in Bali. Man, take me back. What was it that made you decide to get out of that safe, cushy job and get into something like remote sales?
Yeah, so it was quite a big change in life, to be honest. But my partner, she's over here in Bali, and I was doing FIFO, been doing it for about 5 years, and I was going back and forth. So work, home, Bali, home, work, and it was just getting a bit ridiculous. And 5 years doing FIFO is a long time. I think it was about time for a change.
And what particularly were you doing in FIFO? What was your role?
So I'm an electrician by trade, but my previous role was a project superintendent at a gas and oil plant.
Nice. What are some of the challenges as a FIFO worker that you're facing that kind of make you want to go, hey, I need to get out of this, even though I'm getting paid well?
Yeah, so obviously, the money is really good in FIFO, but you're kind of sacrificing life. So I miss out on family events, birthdays. It's fine with my partner, just everything. You're sacrificing that for a paycheck, and at the end of the day, laying everything up, it just wasn't really worth it for me anymore.
And this is something I've heard a bunch of times from people who are working away. You're missing birthdays. Some people are watching their kids grow up through the iPhone, and it presents a bucket load of challenges. So man, I can see why you wanted to do it. Was there a specific moment where you decided enough's enough, I've got to make a big shift, or was it more of a gradual accumulation?
Yeah, the final thing that really made me want to make the change was my partner. So her being in Bali, we started dating earlier this year, and that was when I started to do the back and forth, and it really made me realize how much I was actually sacrificing by being at work all the time, not being able to have the freedom of being able to work from anywhere really. So that was really what pushed me over the edge to make a change.
Yeah. Courageous to make a change. What else did you explore? Because you've landed in remote sales, you're an appointment setter, you're at a really solid company, a business coaching company who helps tradie businesses. What else did you explore when you were looking for different solutions?
Yeah, so I dabbled in eCommerce, which didn't really take off, didn't really work for me, and looked up a whole bunch of other things. And then remote sales just spoke out to me because, you know, I love talking to people, I love having conversations, and being able to do that for a job and from anywhere, I was like, you know, felt like it was really suited to my personality.
Yeah, e-com, something we hear a lot. And then of course, when someone who's been a tradie working FIFO, I mean, I'm assuming you're not having a lot of sales conversations in your job as a fly in, fly out Sparky.
Yeah, there was definitely an element of it in my job, being the position that I was, dealing with clients and speaking about projects and things like that, but not directly a sales role.
And then aside from the kind of liking it, what is it, what do you feel is different to this versus e-com? Why would you choose this over e-com?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I guess for me, this is actually still a secure job with a full-time income. You know, I can earn commission. I'm base plus commission in this particular role. I've got a guaranteed income, and I can do it from anywhere in the world. It's not dependent on, you know, whether I advertise well enough on my store or anything like that, which is good.
Whether you get enough leads or whether you do the marketing right or whether you choose the right product. There's a lot of moving parts in e-com and any business really.
Yeah. And it's like commission is based on how well I perform. So, it's got that driving factor that really makes you want to do well, want to achieve as much as you can and push and hustle and get those results. So yeah, I find it really motivated to succeed.
Love that, man. Well, let's talk about the offer that you're on now. What is it that you're selling? What type of customers are you speaking to every day?
Yeah, so I am really aligned with this offer. We're an Australian company that do business coaching for tradies. So every day I get to call like-minded people, tradies, and have conversations with them about, what they need within their business. And then I set the appointment for the closer and I get to have those conversations every day.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like it's right up your alley, being a tradie, then going in and having conversations with a tradie. You couldn't get much better than that.
Yeah, for sure. Because, there's a lot of offers out there and this one I felt was really aligned. So I had a lot of interviews with different companies, but this one straight away, like I spoke directly with the founders and they're both absolute legends, just absolutely killing it. And just really aligned straight away.
What does a day-to-day look like? How, what time do you start? What are the types of activities that you're up to? How does it differ from being on a mine site or a job site?
Yeah, so being on the mine site, I was doing 12, 13 plus hours a day, getting up at 4 a.m, starting work and finishing 5, 6 p.m. So they were big days, big grueling days. Whereas now I still have early starts because of the time difference with Australia. So I'll start about 5:30, but then I'm finished by 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. So my day looks like I get up, I start working, make calls, go out for lunch with the missus, maybe make a few more calls from a cafe, come back and finish by about 1:30, and then I'm at the gym or the beach or just, hanging out and doing whatever. It's just such a huge level of freedom.
Man, that is crazy. It's incredibly different to being, I'd imagine, I've never been on a mining site, but I'd imagine it'd be incredibly different from the structure, the rigidity, the weather, the heat, the uniform. You've got to wear a uniform every day. You're on site. You've got supervisors everywhere. It's just insanely different from what you've been doing. You must pinch yourself.
Yeah, no, it does feel like that. Like every morning I wake up, I'm like, is this even real? Like, am I really working from a cafe? Am I, I can sit out bench and make calls if I want to. Like, I've got the complete freedom to work from anywhere. And it's just, it's so different. It's unbelievable.
Mate, what's your favorite beach down there? What's your favorite beach in Bali? Are you out there in the surf? Are you just hanging out at the beach? Where are you hanging out?
I don't surf as of yet, but I will definitely do some lessons. I like Malasti Beach here in Uluwatu. It's absolutely stunning. Yeah,
Uluwatu, it's a famous break for some of the top pro surfers. So I'm not sure if it's good for learning. I haven't surfed. I'm not a surfer myself, but it could be a good place to cut your teeth. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
And then I guess with your progression and looking at sort of the goals with the role, you're a setter now. Can you see a pathway to closer? Is that sort of on the table in the next, say, 12 months? Or what does it look like with progression?
Yeah, definitely. So at this point, I just want to be the best I can be at setting and get as many reps in as I can and build up the skill set. And there's a structured pathway into closing is in the company as well. So it's definitely something that I want to strive towards, but I want to be the best I can in this current position first and really earn that next step up.
What are some of the conversations that you're having with business owners? I think some people are curious around that, the convos that you're having, the problems you're solving, the types of problems business owners are having they're coming to you to get some help. Yeah,
so the conversations, these people, they're reaching out because they want help within their business. So the conversation's generally pretty natural. They just talk about kind of where they want to improve in their business and we let them know pretty much. My job is to qualify them, let them know if we can actually help them, if they're a fit. And if so, then I'll move them into the next call and organize a Zoom chat to have a deeper conversation.
And funnily enough, this is the process you went through when you were working or you're looking at working with us. So working through RSI, speaking to Bobby, you went through the exact same process. How is it being on the other side and looking back at you going through the same process? How does that feel?
Yeah, no, it's definitely different to be on the other side. And I didn't make it easy for Bobby. I gave him the hard time. So I definitely now see what it's like to be on both sides. Yeah, it's very different. Okay,
I'm
it's
always
cool.
curious about that. What sort of challenges did you throw up at Bobby on the way in?
Oh, I mean, there was a lot of skepticism. I was super skeptical about the industry as a whole. Like, it just seems too good to be true, being able to call people for a living from anywhere in the world and make money from it. It just didn't seem real. And there's so many people out there online. Who do you trust? Who do you believe? Who trying to just sell you a dream? Because yeah, RSI wasn't the only companies that I spoke to. I actually had paid a refundable deposit with a different coaching company that was a little bit cheaper. And then Bobby talked me out of it and said, no, don't go with them. Have another conversation with me. And he got me over the line. Like, I knew RSI was the better choice, but I initially just went to that because it seems safer. But yeah, it turns out I didn't go with him in the end. I went with you guys, obviously. And he didn't give me back my refundable deposit and
Are you
boxed me.
serious?
I think I made the right choice.
Are you kidding? So you didn't get your refundable deposit back?
Yeah, I didn't get my refundable deposit back and he blocks me. So I couldn't keep asking.
That is horrific. That is horrific.
Yeah.
And that's something I think, because it's fair when you come into this industry, you've been a Sparky, you're a FIFO, you're seeing these ads, people are making big claims. And it feels too good to be true sometimes. It can feel, hey, this is a little bit too scammy because, yeah, the promises are big. And to be truthful, there are people out there who promise big things and don't deliver. And some might call that a scam. It's a form of scamming. It's essentially a bait and switch. Here's what we're going to do. And then you get in there and it's, they promised the world and delivered an atlas. And integrity is so important for businesses in this space. You know it because you're selling something. I know the guys who you work for and they've got such high integrity. Their standards are off the show and they provide a really high level of service. But people like that give this industry a bad name. People like that he's essentially stolen your money.
Yeah, 100%, which was like, I guess why I was so skeptical. But with RSI, like after I joined, I was still quite nervous about the whole thing until I jumped onto the first group coaching call. The very first group coaching call I jumped on, I was like, I've made the right decision. I knew straight away. But from the coaches to the community and the rest of the students inside, everyone is so supportive, so helpful, and everyone like wants you to achieve your dream. Everyone's there to help and want to see you succeed. And it's really great.
That's really cool, man. That's really cool. Just out of curiosity, whose coaching session was the first session that you're on?
The first one I had, I can't remember now. But I remember it was fantastic.
Oh, yeah, good.
I think my first coaching call was with Brad.
Oh, yeah, the main man. He's a very popular coach.
Started with music blaring. It was like a party. It was fantastic.
Yeah, you bring the vibe on the coaching calls. It makes a big difference. And I'm glad that was 100%. Your experience, man. I'm really annoyed that you got shafted by the other coach because that's really poor form. I've personally taken I've taken many refundable deposits in my time as a closer before I started this business, and you give the bloody money back if someone doesn't want to move forward. It's refundable.
Yeah.
So, mate, I'm hoping there's some recourse that you can go because that's gives this industry a really shocking name. But mate, I'm glad that you came to your senses and made the right decision because it is hard when you're coming in. You know that there's quality, but then also people are out there offering things for cheap. But as you know. Sometimes when you buy it cheap, you buy it twice. Yeah, 100%. The cheapest option is definitely not always the best one. Yeah, so there's price and value. And I guess the process of training for you, because you were coming from a baseline of communication skills, sales skills, sounds like you had some customer service and you're dealing with customers in your role. How was the process of training? What were the things that moved the needle for you to get you in a position to go from tradie to, to be ready to be hired as a remote appointment setter? Yeah, honestly, like it was quite daunting at first. Once you start actually doing it, you realize like, wow, this is actually, quite involved. You really get out of it what you put into it though. So if you're willing to put the work in and build up the skills and learn and put the reps in, you are going to succeed. You are going to learn. You are going to, be able to improve and get better. And so the other students, like I was saying before, they really help with that. So outside of the group coaching calls, we jump on calls with them and learn from each other and help each other out. And
practice some role play, and yeah.
How was the community for you? Because the community is a big part of RSI. You get in there, you've got support not only from the coaches, but also the other people going through the journey. Did that help you?
Yeah, honestly, I think the community is probably my favorite part of RSI in general. I don't get me wrong, all of it's great, but the community is just so supportive of one another. And it's absolutely amazing to see and be a part of.
Can you define the moment that Bobby was able to objection handle you to going from a no to a yes? What do you remember?
Bobby's
the technique?
objection handling skills were really put to the test. But to be honest, in our last call with Bobby, he had me sold probably about halfway through. I was just enjoying having conversation with him and putting him to the test. So I dragged it out for a little bit. But yeah,
That's too funny.
No, he was really good.
That's so funny. We've actually got Bobby coming on on Monday night. We've got one of our coaching calls. We're going to be pulling apart one of his calls with one of our students. So the student's going to be hopping on. Bobby's going to be on. The student came loaded with objections. He's now one of our most engaged students. And we're going to be unpacking the objection and the objection handling. So Min, who's going to be talking about why he gave that objection, and Bobby's going to be talking about how he handled it. It's going to be a fun one.
That's going to be awesome. I'll have to tune into that for sure.
To tune in. We might have to do the same with you. And man, so I guess life, it sounds like it's dramatically shifted on its head. What would you say are the biggest changes for you when you look at your life now versus where you were even just a few months ago?
Yeah, well, just that level of freedom of being able to work from anywhere. So like I'm in Bali now, I've completely moved to here. I have the freedom I can still travel to Australia and visit family, friends, whatever I want, because I can continue to work and make money when I'm there. I'm planning a trip to China with my partner because I can continue to work and make money while I'm there. So I can just go anywhere in the world and continue to work and make money. I don't have to take a big gap of work and have no income while traveling because I can travel, work and live all at the same time.
Which is impossible when you're working.
It's impossible in FIFO because I'm at work or I'm at home or here. There was no freedom at all.
Do you think it takes talent? Do you think you need to be talented to be good to get into remote closing or setting? Do you think it's something that you can learn? Do you think it's how do you feel about sort of being able to step into a role like this?
Yeah, so obviously, coming from a trade background, I wouldn't have thought that I'd be suited to this type of role. But it's not about talent or skill. It's about being willing to put the work in. So anyone can learn it. Anyone can be taught it. It's just a matter of actually being committed and putting the work in and learning that skill set.
What have you had to work on since joining that team and being in that role? What are the skills or the habits or the things that you've really had to work on in order to hit your numbers?
Yeah, well, just the conversations you have with people. Sometimes they throw some real curveballs at you. You've got to be really reactive and know how to respond to that, which you're only going to get through reps and practice. And the more conversations that I have with people, the more natural it gets. And, because you start with a script, you learn that, and then, but the things people say to you, they don't know the script. So they're throwing some real curveballs and you need to know how to, but no, it's
True.
great. You see a bit of everything.
Did you ever play sport?
In school, yes, but never a club sport.
Got it. Because there's a real parallel between sport, being prepared for game day, and also sales. But the same happens with objection handling. You tend to get the same objections, especially when you're in a role like you're an appointment setter. You're talking to the same types of prospects. You generally get the same objections. So drilling for those objections and drilling to handle those is something you've got to do every day.
Yeah. And the more practice you get in, it just becomes more natural and you know exactly how to respond to certain people.
And so what's the plans for the next 12 months? You're going to stay in Bali, coming back to Australia, going to head over further overseas?
I'll spend the majority of the time in Bali. Like I said, I'm planning a trip to China, so I'll do that. And I guess it doesn't really matter now. I can just play it by ear and work it out as I go. I don't need to have a set plan. I don't need to plan a holiday months in advance or request time off or anything like that. I can just work it out as I go.
Just make sure, Dylan and any plans to get over and see Dylan and Joe in the office here?
Yeah, so I went over there for my my first week. They sent me down to Newcastle there to to check out the office and meet the guys, and everyone was so awesome. And yeah, I'd love to get back down there in the summer and get out on the water with the boys.
Oh yeah, the boys are very, mad wakeboarders, and they
Yeah.
love their boats and water sports. Final question: what advice would you have for anyone who's in FIFO, who's sitting there, they're sick of it, they're looking for a way that they can get the hell out of the grind and the cycle of FIFO? What advice would you have for those people?
Honestly, just jump in and do it. Just give it a go, because I'm a perfect example that it can work out. It is possible, and anyone can do it. And, you know, for me, for example, I'm in Bali, but if another FIFO worker just wants to spend more time at home with their family, they can do that, work from home every day and actually watch their kids grow up. And, you know, I'm just an appointment setter at the moment, but as a closer, you can make the same money as FIFO, if not even more. You know, you can be living your best life, still earning great money and not having to sacrifice.
And just for context, so people understand, you've taken a step back in income to live this type of lifestyle, haven't you?
Yeah, I've taken a step back in income, but I've replaced it with life.
I love that.
And the money will come in the future. You know, I'm going to put the work in and gain more skills and, you know, work my way up to that. But at the time being, what I've lost in income, I've gained in life.
We'll finish it there, man. I think that's a mic drop moment, but it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, dude. I'm excited for you. The future looks bright. You're on the pathway. We will get that deposit back from that sales trainer. We'll definitely get that deposit back for you. How much was it, by the way?
It was only $250, but, you know, it's the principle.
It is the principle. $250 thief. All right, well, mate, there's a lot to be happy about, and you are an absolute legend. So congratulations, dude. So much success to happen, and we'll keep in touch and see how we land in the next 12 months. Epic. Thanks a lot. Good chat.
No, thank you. Thank you for RSI and actually allowing me to be able to do this.
Yeah.
It honestly has like changed my life. Like, yes, I have taken a pay cut, but you know, that's only going to be temporary. I will at some point be earning good money. But yeah, like I said, what I've gained in life, the time with my partner, we get to spend every day together now. It's like, it's changed my life already. And I've been doing it for 2 weeks.
It's unbelievable. And it's something we hear, people, if you're in a position to be able to take a pay cut, which many people are, then it's encouraged to do that. Especially if you're transitioning across into a new career, you can't expect to go from, you know, your 4 years of trade, you know, apprenticeship, and then getting to doing something like fly in, fly out, and being, the reason why they pay so well is because the lifestyle's so poor.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. That's the only reason. And like, I was at a gas plant that could blow up at any moment and I'd just be dead. So, you know what I mean? The pay is good. It's because, you know, anything could go wrong.
Because you could die.
Yeah.
You could die tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not in a dangerous workplace anymore, except the scooters here are pretty gnarly.
They are pretty dangerous. You got to wear a helmet and make sure that you're make sure you don't get burnt on the exhaust pipe. I did that.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
I did that one. I think it's like the Bali, the rite of passage to have the scar on your leg, getting the big getting burnt by the exhaust pipe.
I've already made that mistake.
Oh, you've already done it, have you?
Oh yeah.
Mine got infected. I had to get antibiotics. Wasn't fun.
No good.
Not good.
No good at all.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm stoked for you. Work hard, put your head down, keep showing up to calls. Make sure you still keep showing up to calls and don't drop off, because I see that a bit as well when someone sort of drops off. And make sure you just stay once a week, maybe come to a sparring session, just be, you know, engaged and just hit your numbers, man. You'll do well.
Yeah, sounds good. Look forward to it.
Great to have you, mate. Thanks a lot for jumping on.